It's important to take seriously when a person has deficiencies, defects, disabilities. You know, Ramaswamy has chutzpah. People characterize my upfrontness as arrogance. A lot of people have noticed that I don't remember names. They find it difficult to engage my surroundings, and they think I'm dismissive of them, but that's not true. Many of these people are people I have taken to heart. But I can't go around with a simplification card and hand it out. I spent 12 years staring into space at a facility that was saying terrible lies about me on behalf of a museum thief who miserated my life and not allowing me to go to school. What do these people know of being deaf? They allowed me to go until my 30s without teaching me sign language. I don't have any money. I live well below the poverty line. Zoom, like $9,000, $10,000 a year. I consider it a great paradisical experience to have 75 cents to go down and play a pinball machine. Oh, I love pinball. I play some pinball with a great deal of sincerity. It's my third favorite sport after figure skating and baseball. But that to me is a vacation. Maui was something I cried over because they were my fellow man, but I know nothing about it. I've never set foot in there. Tropical sunsets to me are pictures on the TV screen. And I'm losing vision in one of my eyes, possibly both eventually. I have defects, disabilities. So when somebody asks me, could you comment on Barbie, and Oppenheimer? You're talking about two movies, right? I've seen the trailer to Barbie. I thought it was splendid that the boy wanted to get into the car with her and the girl said, jump in. I thought that was absolutely splendid. Setting an example of trust between the sexes that's rewarded with friendship is a great idea. I don't know much else about the movie. I don't suspect I wouldn't enjoy it, only that something in it might bother me because so much about movies does. Oppenheimer, I don't know very much about. Let me tell you a few things, though. My father knew Eisenhower and worked on a book with him worked on a book in his reign at Teachers College in Columbia, reign administrative period at Teachers College in Columbia when they were both there, called America's the Challenge of Atomic Energy. And it's a humane book, peacetime issues of atomic energy. What was understood to the layman at the time, he puts with his colleagues in readable prose. And he told me by the time I was 4 years old, I knew about World War II, understood a great deal about World War II. And the thing about being a World War II child in that way is that, yes, I came to admire Clint Eastwood for his appearances in Where Eagles Dare. Yes, I came to wonder, how does one grow into so much courage? I also understood the repercussions, and I considered it mandatory to read the books. I read when I was 15 or 16 years old, maybe even younger, in high school, early in high school, after we moved out of Highland Park, where I had been tortured. John Hershey's Hiroshima accounts from 1,000 meters away from the epicenter. And of course, and when I got a little older, my later years of high school, I saw the newsreels in Hiroshima, Mon Amour. But the information in John Hershey's book made clear what that firestorm had done. And I read Neville Shute's On the Beach. This was a time of antenna televisions, box televisions, changing the channel with your hand. Neville Beach, and she died at the wheel of her big car. Neville Shute's On the Beach was a much more sober warning than Dr. Strangelove, the movie. I was not at that age stirred to wonder why literary figures were sober and filmmakers were so dark with comedy. Older, wiser, I now understand the problem. I've read accounts of the Manhattan Project, largely they bored me. Einstein's reflections were beautiful. He said, for example, that the only reason he signed on to the Manhattan Project was his terror that Adolf Hitler would get the missile first. I wondered, after reading Neville Shute's On the Beach, how it was possible that anybody, I don't mean just Kirk Douglas and the man from U.N.C.L.E. dressing up in Nazi drag, how anybody could be wasting our money, bringing about stressors, poverty in education, health and welfare, scientific developments that could be useful, could waste our money on those horrible, horrible machines. Never understood it. Couldn't understand it. Still can't. Oppenheimer, I don't know him. I've seen his name. I don't know if I want to see these movies. I don't know what to say. I hope, I subscribe to the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists and occasionally glance it over. I'm reminded that it exists. I've been making sure that I'm reminded that it exists. But as Penis Gabriel said in his misbegotten psychological photograph of his encouraging foe, no one wants you when you lose. I have no great gifts, but I tried to read John Torn, but was suspicious of Torn because of the intonations. It was before we knew everything we know now about Reinhard Giesler and Operation Paperclip and the balance of power arguments that are always loaded to hide American encroachments on people who give our exploitation an unfavorability rating rather than encouraging their development, which is not a good plan. That's not a good plan. A much better plan is to be honest about what we can and can't do. It always seemed to me grossly dishonest to believe that we could prepare to destroy the planet as some kind of maddened Egyptian pyramid building, and thereby some perverse law of paradox save the planet. It always seemed to me absurd. To save the planet, we must save the planet, not build bombs. Hopefully, Oppenheimer says that. I give a thumbs up to Barbie, to Ramaswamy's chutzpah, to people who regret the foul heart of the 50s. Thumbs up to Russia for abandoning the Cold War formulas of expansionist communism, which was always somewhat questionable. Thumbs up to diplomatic measures that engage in professionalism, checks and balances across the board. Thumbs up to arms control. Let me repeat, thumbs up to arms control, to civil understanding, to social comedy, COMITY, comity.